gang violence and other kind of violence.
Guess what? I could be at work, in school, in my car. I can still get shot by the police, but I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's the Black Gen Z Mindset. Make sure you go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe, and let's get into the video.
Well, the death of a Chesapeake 2-year-old took center stage in court today.
Chico.
Been following this case now for nearly a year. 35-year-old Harvey Simpkins is accused of killing that little girl, and today a judge certified the charges. Lauren Moss was there and explains the next steps.
Today, a judge had to decide if there was probable cause that this crime was committed. It's a lower burden of proof than beyond a reasonable doubt. The Commonwealth presented evidence including body camera footage and testimony from the little girl's mother, a juvenile and domestic court judge.
Wow. So in this case, you have this super gremlin who was charged with the murder of a 2-year-old. Apparently there were some interracial interactions going on there, so that's very disturbing. And I believe the mother, you know, she obviously, we know that these abuse cases, likelihood of increasing goes up significantly. I believe by 43% when you have a non-familial male come into the household of a single mother household. So I think that's what we're seeing here, and I mean, it's just crazy to see what's going on.
Ultimately certified the felony charges. Harvey Simpkins faces second-degree murder, accused of killing a 2-year-old girl. And Tyler's mom, Taisha Burton, testified saying the girl was fine when she dropped her off with Simpkins and his mother, which is part of her routine. At work, she says she got threatening text messages from Simpkins because they got into a fight. So she called police to help her pick up the kids at their shared hotel room. Tearing up in court, Burton remembers dressing her daughter while she was crying. She says every time she touched her daughter, she was in pain.
Yeah, man. And that's sad. This domestic abuse, like I said, it heats up during the holidays, and it's a really difficult time for many families, especially if you've lost a loved one during the holidays, and you know, if you become a victim during the holidays. So, man, condolences to the family for sure.
Burton says she never found any visible markings, but decided to take her daughter to CHKD. Sadly, the little girl passed away 3 hours later. Court documents say she was treated for a brain bleed, fractured skull, and other injuries. A homicide.
Dang. So this guy is a POS for sure. And it's very interesting that the mother didn't notice anything until now. Could this be a case of negligence? Hopefully not, but obviously we have a grieving mother in this situation. But it just baffles me that she wasn't able to pick up on what was going on that led to the death of this little girl.
A detective looked through the hotel room in Greenbrier the next day. He told the judge he found blood around the room, including tissues in the trash. Simpkins' counsel pressed the detective about the tissues. The detective agreed with defense counsel that Simpkins told police the little girl fell and busted her lip, and Simpkins used tissues to wipe the blood. The detective says during the interview, Simpkins denied hurting the little girl. The Commonwealth did no pros the malicious wounding charge. That's basically setting the charge aside. He still faces 4 felony charges, and the judge's ruling means this case goes to the grand jury. The panel will decide whether or not to indict him. I'm Leona Moss, 10 on your side.
Portsmouth, and a sad update to a missing persons case we followed for weeks. Daquan Roundtree's father says the 19-year-old's body has been found. State police issued an Ashanti alert for Roundtree when he disappeared in December. His family had said he wasn't acting like himself. His body was...
Ouch. So we have a missing person whose body has now been found. Obviously very disturbing. And this is just another example of, you know, you can say mental health, you can say, potentially the op culture, but this just seems like something that is becoming the norm. And I definitely wanted to highlight this, you know, for anybody who had intel or was following this case. Very sad situation.
It's found yesterday, but police didn't provide any other details.
We are following breaking news from Portsmouth. The father of Daquan Roundtree tells me his son's body was the one found Monday at Norfolk Naval Shipyard. That was his place of employment. This is a devastating update after his loved ones called on the community looking for help in finding the missing 19-year-old.
And apparently this young man deleted himself. We can say drugs, we can say a whole bunch of different things, but obviously the community is going through some very difficult things in this day and age. So, you know, it's important that it's important that, you know, you check up on your loved ones, make sure they're doing okay. But the crash out mentality is very difficult to solve. You know, in this case, yes, he did crash out. Now, thankfully, he didn't take anyone else out. But, you know, it's a sad story.
Chopper 10 was above the scene yesterday. As we reported, Roundtree was last seen on December 12th, or 11th, that is. His family said that they were worried about his mental health. Police are still investigating a cause of death.
What's good, Shadow Realm? It's your boy Janquavius Jackson, and y'all already know I'm demonetized and shadow banned in this bitch. So if you want to contribute, go to the Cash App, the PayPal, the GoFundMe, or join the Patreon. Also, don't forget to visit the merch store for all your favorite BGZM News 17 gear, including our exclusive Trump is a Blood t-shirt. Go fast before they sell out. They are already flying off the shelves, no cap. And remember, these super gremlins are on demon time.
In Mercer County with a follow-up to the shooting we first reported last night. Today, we learned the victim in that shooting did not survive, but the man believed to be responsible has been arrested, and that investigation indicates this murder suspect ambushed his victim.
All right, guys, so this is the final story of the night. Another domestic violence shooting. It is indeed interracial. You have a brother who deleted a glider woman. Very sad story here. Apparently he did have a protective order against him, so he wasn't supposed to be in contact with the young lady, but he violated that in order to commit this act of violence. These super gremlins are on demon time.
This is the man state troopers believe is responsible for the deadly shooting that occurred in Mercer County Thursday night. Cory Lee Callen of Bluefield, West Virginia, is facing a felony first-degree murder charge. The call came in at 8:06 p.m., according to the 911 center. The criminal complaint says police converged on the home at 193 Gardner Loop Road off Brickyard Road. When police arrived, they found a woman suffering multiple gunshot wounds. The complaint says, quote, victim was identified as Leona Edwards. The victim was shot exiting her vehicle multiple times. It was learned the victim had recently filed a DVP against the accused.
And a lot of times this angers the suspect, and this can anger the super gremlin. Like I've stated before, you know, it's very dangerous to tell some of these guys no. All right, it's very dangerous to tell these guys to leave or go away. You're not welcome here anymore. And it's even more dangerous to put him on papers. So I really don't know what we can do to solve this issue, because when you get a protective order, there's nothing that's really stopping you from interacting with that individual besides, you know, a 24/7 security detail, which isn't practical. So it's just a very difficult thing to you know, handle in these cases, because unless they have armed security, they're not really safe, especially, you know, when you have a woman on the other end of the domestic violence.
End quote. State police launched a search for Callen. Witnesses described a man in a gray hoodie seen leaving the scene after the shooting in a white SUV. Callen was found 3 counties away, arrested in Nicholas County in a gray hoodie and driving a white SUV. That criminal complaint goes on to say, quote, "It was also learned the accused made numerous threats that he was going to kill the victim," end quote. The investigator did not specify where he believed Callen concealed himself in the 100 block of Gardner Loop Road, but in the criminal complaint, he writes, quote, This trooper believes the victim was shot when exiting her vehicle by the accused.
Wow, so she's getting out of the vehicle. He catches her lacking, and he straight deletes her. Guys, in the community, we have to do a lot better. Awareness is key. Spreading awareness, letting people know that, you know, how these things occur, watching my stories, sharing my stories. You know, all these can lend to saving a life. And a lot of times these women don't really have many options, you know, as far as protecting themselves from these violent guys that they're dealing with. But background checks, okay? Make sure you're doing your background check on some of these men that y'all are dealing with. And just make sure that you are vetting these guys before you start dealing with them seriously, because, you know, I hate reporting on these types of stories, but it's difficult when you have a lot of these young ladies who are just hopping in the sack with these guys super quick, not doing any research, not understanding what type of guy he is, giving him the benefit of the doubt, and so on and so forth.
Who was believed to be lying in wait for her to exit the vehicle, end quote. Callen is being held in the North Central Regional Jail and is expected to be returned to Mercer County for the next step in the case against him. Again, Callen is being charged with first-degree murder. And the next step in the case against Callen is a bond hearing, which must be set by a circuit court judge. We will continue to follow developments with this case. Now,
Gang violence and other kind of violence.
Get away! I could be at work, at school, in my car. I can still get shot by the police. I can get shot anywhere.
So it is what it is.